something that occurred yesterday in this healthcare bill could play a role in the hospital. I know they'll tell you that it might not, but it could. If all of a sudden the responsibility of counties around the state for Medicaid and those benefits ends up switching over, as in this bill, to the state, all of a sudden there's going to be a huge shortfall. Money is going to be a real problem in New York State, and the governor is going to be trying to find every way he can to make up for that money. And that could mean state aid for schools. It could mean programs. Who knows? Nothing is secure until it's done, I guess.
Well, if it's related to the hospital, the funding, my belief is there's always enough money if you're willing to borrow.
Right.
And that's what this was. This wasn't a pile of money in Albany waiting to come here.
I'm hearing, Brett, that, and I can't confirm this, and no one will confirm this, but I'm hearing that they have the money. The hospital now has secured the money it needs, and I don't know if this is true. Please, let me just tell you. Somebody told me yesterday that I kind of trust that the word is right now that they've secured the money. Have you heard the same thing?
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
But I know the way they're going to receive the money is through a grant from the state.
But part of that money, but the other half they have to raise, and I'm told that other half that they have found the way the path to raising that money.
Okay. Well, finding the path and having the money in hand are two different things.
I have my paths to money lead. It's like it's a topographical map. It's all over the place.
Okay.
Okay. So what's new? I met with you guys.
Sure.
And I came back and I told these guys I don't know that they changed my mind. I still believe the hospital downtown is positive, but I think you had an intelligent, constructive argument against it going downtown. That I will admit to.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think there's two visions, right? So what do you want in your downtown?
Yeah.
And I think if you went to all the people that made the decision to go downtown or think it's a good idea, if you said to them, imagine yourself, whether you live single or with a girlfriend, boyfriend, or a family, and you have this option of a project. You can have a central park 2,000 feet from your home, or you can have a large hospital district. Who is going to pick the hospital district? And that's what I'm faced with. That's what is in me. Personally, that's what I'm thinking about. When someone comes to me and says, hey, they want to bulldoze downtown, and they're going to build a hospital, and it's going to be great.
The problem is,
you start asking questions, and the answers are not there, or they're not truthful.
This is new that you're talking about, though, the park downtown, like having a central park.
Well,
because the problem with that would be that would be off the tax rolls as well. That'd be public property.
Possibly, or you could have some benefactor that instead of,
But I mean, that's probably pie in the sky type. Thinking.
No, I wasn't saying.
I understand.
A central park is new.
So basically, what you're saying though is, if we revitalize downtown versus revitalize it using a hospital, that's what you guys are against. You feel the hospital is not going to revitalize the downtown.
Well, the thing that I think people have in their mind is it's $300 million from the state, and it's a gift, and Utica's going to get this. How could that be bad? And then let's assume they get all the money. They get the additional funding that they need. Which I'm saying I believe they may have. So let's just say all the money is in hand, and they're ready to go. There are still so many issues that have to be solved beyond my discontent.
You know, they could find that the land is so toxic underneath those buildings that it would not be cost effective to build there. That's still possible.
And the shame is that a hospital official said, well, I think they won't knock any buildings down until they know that. They might not find this out. They could knock down some buildings. They could clear the whole site and then say, oh, wow, the money didn't come through. We found a spotted owl or a spotted worm, or we found these wooden pipes.
Is there a spotted worm?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know. Could be possible.
Animals.
Are you willing to, if you lose this fight?
Yes.
And by the way, Brett is you're an inventor.
I used to be. Now I'm inventing ways to stop the hospital, but
Okay.
I don't know if I'm winning or I don't know if I'm winning or losing.
Are you going to, first of all, you remind me of who? It's a Carville. The Carville husband and wife. One's a conservative, one's a liberal.
James Carville and
what's her name?
I can't think of.
She did a broadcast. Yeah, my wife actually had to handle her.
I remember those.
She did a broadcast here at WIBX.
They were on
years
opposite
ago.
sides. One was
Opposite sides. You have that same thing at home. How are you? Because your wife does a lot of work for the city, which is for this downtown.
Yeah.
And now here you are out. I hate to go personal on you.
No,
but,
that's okay.
It
is personal. It's a personal
gotta be
situation.
tough because you're in complete contrast with what she, in terms of public relations and graphic arts and all the vision that she has.
Yeah,
she ain't wearing that T-shirt.
Well, we don't know, do we?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah,
but no, it is.
Don't say that. That'll get her in trouble.
Her response early on was, "I'm in marketing. If they give me a hospital, I'll find a way to market it."
Correct. Yeah.
So
that's her job.
I mean, that's acceptable to me, though.
Does it work?
What's that?
Does it works at home for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that matters. You're also the CEO and president of SoftNose, which provides components to the factory automation industry, and that was formed back in 2007. So you have business, you have industry.
91.
1991.
Yeah, I'm old.
That is true. And you have a lot of business, but you're putting all of your efforts in this. Is this
19
hurting?
months.
Is this hurting your business? It's got to be hurting business.
I'm very, very fortunate.
Yeah, you're doing very well.
Sometimes I think I was born to stop the hospital because the business is sailing along.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, it's been 19 months, and I just think that the story we were told isn't all truthful. And it's just a
what
different
isn't
vision.
true? What's not true?
Well, it started out when Jim Brock, who had intelligence from the hospital board, called me up and said, "Brett, I need your help on Facebook."
Some of the members of the board aren't for it.
Right. They're going to bulldoze downtown. And I had not been paying attention because I was growing my business and working on a building downtown in Bag Square. And then when I said, well, what's going on? You go to Google, you do search, you get up to speed, you look at some OD articles. OD came out finally shortly after we start this discussion and said, here's where the hospital is going to be.
Yeah.
And they showed in red 12.5 acres, but they spoke of 34. And
is it a lie or a mistake or a typo, so to speak? Because we've heard, are they going to take the police station? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I've heard different stories. I have
papers in my car. I have a file of information, and I can show you at least 4 different maps that were officially, in some capacity,
But what would the benefit be to leave off a certain part? Would it? I mean, because it's still going to be the same argument. Even if the footprint's smaller, you're going to still have the same argument. You don't want the hospital downtown. So what would their benefit be to leave some of these other buildings off the map? Where's the big benefit?
Well, I think the first benefit, if you're the person building this project, you would try to impact as few people as possible, so you have less enemies. Or if you're trying to buy property, you're not going to create a land, a price escalation and saying, wow, I'm in the zone. And then I think, to be fair to the hospital, they're not sure exactly what they're going to do in order for them
I would believe that more than I would believe that somebody's intentionally trying to lie to us for any benefit. I would believe that it's changing. Somebody put it out. It's it's changed along the way. It's progressed. Right. I would buy that.
But in the official database of the area that they're studying for the cultural and historic impact, it shows from basically the arterial where it used to exist to the Hotel Utica. It kind of curves around the courthouse and goes up to City Hall. It's a big piece of land.
What do you have new that would make people, I have a couple of minutes here. What do you, and by the way, I have people asking about the Central Park issue. How would you maintain such a thing? How would you pay for that? But I want to just be clear. That was just an example you put out, probably not the best of examples. Is that true, or tell me?
Well, the alternative of Central Park, there's a green space that runs through downtown, and they're actually looking at reconfiguring the roads, and they would remove the trees.
Right.
So that's another bothersome thing to me.
Which weren't there originally, by the way.
No, but they've been there for 70 years, and I've been looking at them for 15 years.
That's probably going to go away. That's a part of the project.
So let's
hospital or no hospital.
Yeah, let's take away the Central Park, and let's just say I can walk from the Stanley to Varick Street. And when I do that walk, I can stop in an art gallery, I can stop into a jazz club, I can go visit a friend who lives in a loft. There's a lot of variety.
You can walk by a crack house.
You could do that too.
You can have cement fall on top of you from some of the crumbling buildings.
There are people in the area
Yeah.
that have been doing. There's 40 plus businesses,
Yeah.
and there's some there with means to have a really big impact.
But how long would it take for just or an organic revival to occur in that area? I mean, in just in all likelihood, if you were a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a gambler,
I had a casino to go to,
and you had to place a bet, hypothetical is all I'm saying. I would, and if red was an organic transformation,
Yep.
and and black was the hospital downtown, black would be my bet for making real change. I just don't know how long it would take for an organic investment to which means people would just kind of get together and rally and rebuild downtown.
There are a couple. Well, first of all, it's not all of downtown. It's a big park.
It is.
Columbia and Lafayette Street. There are a few buildings that don't look good, but I believe they're being held out as the poster child as to why we need to do this project. I could, in a matter of weeks, make those buildings look good. If you're at the corner of Genesee and Oriskany Boulevard, we have great rentals. And when Ed Hanna was mayor, he painted pieces of wood to look like windows. And that if you stop and look at great rentals, you almost, if you're not paying attention, you would say, "Oh, there's windows in that building. There's pieces of wood." So I could, and you can check. I'll draw up a document, and I say Brett Truett and his friends downtown in this area, we will fix that area up in 6 months. Because the problem is the perception is that it's blighted and it's disgusting, and you go down there and there's not a lot happening.
Yeah.
But there are people and things are. It's not as bad as they're making out to be.
But if a hospital came in, it would transform that area within 3 or 4 years, and it would allow.
But if you
allow you to focus on West Utica and play, which is an area of blight in Utica that is just in so desperate need of help.
Right, so that's like say, "Hey, Bill, I'm going to chop off your arm, and we're really going to fix up your leg."
You know how useless my arm is. I might be okay with that.
Okay, I'm taking your leg. Okay. You're going to keep the arm.
That would be a problem.
Okay, yeah. But I think it's just different visions, and
it is different visions. Are you prepared?
I am prepared
to be defeated.
Am I prepared to be defeated?
Because if you lose,
yes.
What are you going to? Because you've said before, I'm going to have to move away.
Yes.
Will you please tell me you won't do that? Because you are an attribute for this area.
But unfortunately, the political climate that has kind of taken over this hospital situation, and then you add that to what's going on in the country, and then you look at the business world of how the small guy cannot get ahead of the big guy, whether it's Walmart or Wall Street. Mm-hmm. If you really look at what's going on in the world, it's not that pleasant of a place. And then you add this, you're trying to have a debate about a hospital or no hospital. It takes a little bit out of you. And I, for 19 months, have been living and breathing this. Yeah. It's not if take away the radio station, it seems like a lot of fun.
They've done that to me 12 times.
Okay. So there you have your hospital battle.
I've been fired way too many times to use that analogy.
So I don't know if I'll go away. I am going to continue to, hopefully invent things and grow the business. So I'll be traveling, and I do have a chance to get away and commiserate if I have a loss. But I think if you talk to people, I talk to people, I hear from people, I get text message, email. I don't think we're going to lose. And I think it's going to actually be a win for the community because you have 64 acres at St. Luke's, and they've unanimously accepted that that's a good place to build.
Is there, do you have anything other than what we've talked about that I haven't given you a chance to talk about, anything new that you'd like to?
Well, we're looking just for clarification of the language.
Okay.
Because the language that brings us the $300 million says the largest population center of Oneida County. So we're looking for lawyers to say, what does that mean?
Right. Well, can I just follow up on one? Because when we had them on, I thought that was interesting, too. It doesn't say it has to be downtown. It just says it has to be Utica.
Right.
No, it doesn't say Utica.
Well, it says the largest population center, which is Utica. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have to be Utica's downtown. The other thing is, just for the record, I hope you win.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Here is you don't want the hospital. Are you coming out now saying you don't want the hospital downtown?
No, I just, he paints a nice picture, and I wouldn't mind living in that community.
And that's what I'm saying. If it's not a Central Park, it's it's a interesting downtown.
And it wouldn't kill me.
And I
How
fear
long do we have to wait for that to
right.
happen.
I fear I'll be dead by the time
actually,
Brett's vision comes to fruition.
But time out. First of all, it's not my vision.
Well.
This is happening across the globe. People are moving into cities.
I understand that.
So, but let's just say I lose. No hospital downtown leaves. 1,600 people plus on Facebook, we lose. That means they're going to start building their hospital, and you will have a construction site for 5 years. So if you have a business on the outskirts,
I'm okay with that. That's progress.
no, but where do you?
It is.
But
it's
progress
a
for
cost
who?
of doing business. It's just.
Okay.
But
And
it's
I am not
progress for the great. Remember, it's progress for the greater good.
But it's supposed to be about healthcare, and healthcare for the greater good does not look like a downtown hospital.
Okay. So, but I think that each of your arguments, I could kind of poke. That one, you could really
sir,
poke
we can go
holes
all
in
day
that
long.
argument.
Let's go back to
That's-
talking about the airline.
That's an easy one. We can all gang up on one side on that one. Tom, quickly on the hospital, pipe in here.
All of the medical people that I talk to, and I have quite a few medical people I talk to, because I go to a lot of medical people to get fixed, have said to me that the idea of a downtown hospital does not provide a healing atmosphere for the patients. They need a
how many people, Tom? In fairness, come on,
7 or 8.
Seven or eight of
Hospitals in
them.
the world are in downtown metropolitan
Right.
areas, Tom.
That's a too general of a statement for me to let you go on, Tom. I'm sorry.
Look, it's all I've got. You know,
I
but
understand.
on the other thing.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I speak to a Bosnian refugee who used to be a civil engineer, and now he lives in Utica. And the first statement he said was, why would you go downtown? The air is much cleaner up on a hill, and when you design a hospital. That's not to say there's not hospitals in New York City. I was just at one.
Bellevue doesn't have a choice.
Michael says, it just dawned on me that I think that Tony Pacini's plan to put a casino downtown is a mere distraction. So everybody argues over that, and all of a sudden the hospital just swoops right in.
No casino.
I don't buy that either. But all right.
I have reserved nocasinodowntown.com, though. So if I lose this fight.
So maybe that's it. So this guy's right. Tony Pacini's plan is working. It's going to distract you.
I spent no time editing the webpage, as you will see.
Okay.
It looks much like a hospital website.
Okay. All right, Tom. Thank you for the call, and Brett, as always,
Thank you, Bill. I
appreciate your contribution to this area, and it would be a shame to lose you over this, no matter what ends up happening.
I can work remotely.
Okay. All right. I got a break.
I'll come back to use the hospital.
I have. Right. That's where you'll end up.